Hi, I'm Susan Budge, and in this video I wanted to give you a demonstration of our Play to Create system. Now, our Play to Create system was designed to be very simple, effective, and a lot of fun. It's a simple 5-step process. First, we're going to design, trace, cut, ink, replace. And so to help us to design our layout, we actually use our designer templates that really speed up the process and make it a lot of fun as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So basically, to start designing a 12 by 12 layout, we have our 12-inch border sets, and our border sets do come with 6 different designer templates like you see here. And each set has 3 different designs, and each design has a side A and a side B to it like this. And I will actually show you here in a minute how this is very effective when you're cutting them out of your paper. But first, we're going to start by using them as a designing tool, and then we'll use them as a template. Now, to start off with, personally, I just pick one of the pairs to start playing with, basically, just to see what we can come up with. And there's really no right or wrong. Basically, you just move them around on your page. And so what I'm designing on top of is my background sheets that will be the background for my 2-page layout. You can make 1-pagers, you can make cards, you can make DIY crafts, but tons of inspiration on our blog, our website, and even in our idea books. But overall, this will show you the process. So basically, we just play around and see what we can come up with. So you can do just one border by itself, keep it very clean, like you kind of see in this sample right here. We can grab another border set, right? And then we can add a nice layered look. So something like this, which is a lot of fun. And personally, if you love to layer or you like the layer look, then I recommend that you throw in a couple extra designer templates together and mix them up and see what you can play to create with them. All right, or we could do like a back-to-back. And this is really nice because once you cut these out as separate patterns and colors, it will add a lot of character to your page. But overall, you can see in all of our samples how it really complements your pictures and adds to the feelings and the emotions of your page instead of competing with your pictures. So I personally love when I do a back-to-back, and you can even have this necessarily like in the middle of your page with your pictures poking out, which we'll get to here in a minute. So that's just the border sets, as you can see. Lots of fun options. We can even do like a top, bottom. You could do across from each other with our border sets. And one thing I do want to point out is that with all of our border sets, one side always lines up. So for example, this would be the left and this would be the right. So that if you did a cross from each other design, it kept the design keep going as far as the weight goes. So that's always a really fun thing to keep in mind as well. So lots of different design options, and of course, the moment you change up that paper, the look of it changes as well. All right, now that I showed you the border sets, I'm going to show you how, by adding in some different accessory sets, how you can really change it up. And of course, again, changing that paper is going to change that look, but adding your accessories in will help you not only get your overall design quickly done, but it also does save you money by avoiding the expensive embellishments. By using our accessory sets, you can use them over and over again with different layers and combinations to give you a new look every time. So for that, I'm just going to go ahead and go back to a back-to-back look like this. And on this side, I'm going to have the back-to-back go this way. Now we have a variety of different accessory sets, so just depending on what you feel like you'll scrapbook the most or get the most use out of, again, can be great for cards, DIY crafts. There is no limit to them. But just looking at the different accessory sets, the whole purpose of them is to, again, allow you to kind of play to create. You can layer up with occasionally within the same set, so you can see kind of that nice layered look, but overall giving you that nice visual effect to see if that's something that you liked. If it's not, and it's not working quite for the project that you're working on, we haven't cut into anything, so no worries. You can simply just play to create something until you find a look that you like. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of our brackets here. which make really great spots for journaling or for a title. I can definitely remember to keep those things in mind, like if I wanted to do a title across there. And maybe I'll throw in a very simple flower, something like that. Now we do have our tiny accessories. Now our tiny accessories, again, are designed to give you that more layered look, and you can layer them up with our accessory sets. And the way that you can tell if they're tiny is that on the designer templates that have a T, that's basically for tiny. And so the purpose of them is to give you a nice layer look. If you like your embellishments to be a little bit smaller, then the tinies are the way to go. And of course, if you use your scraps of paper or if you're a card maker, the tinies are perfect for the card sizes as well. Now, like I mentioned, we do have a variety of accessories. So boys, girls, holidays, just depending on what you're working on, you can absolutely adjust your accessories for whatever theme that you're working on. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in a couple pieces from our adventure set just to kind of show you that variety. So if maybe you were doing more of a masculine page, it's really great because, again, pulling on those papers and those patterns to really help set the mood and the tone for your page goes a long ways. I just love this adventure set. It comes with a variety of different ones, and so you would just pull on the ones that work for you. We can even do like a really fun arrow, something like that, pointing to a picture. Now that was just showing you a look at our borders and accessories and how useful our tiny accessories are if you love to layer. Now another fun design category that we personally love is what we call our fun borders. And once you throw those in the mix, it's just kind of a whole new ball game. So if you're really looking for the layers or something new to add to your designs for your scrapbook layouts, then definitely make sure to check out our fun borders. So one of our fun borders is this scallop, and you can see how the designs are different than our other border sets. And so these are really to add a little bit more character. So I'm just going to show you that effect that sometimes can happen when you throw these in. So for example, maybe I wanted to add just another layer here with a scallop, and you could do like a triple layer like that, and that would be so cute. And again, just cutting those out of your papers. Now, or I could take one of the border sets and just go back to back with a fun border, so a different design like so, which would add a really cute overall feel to your page as well. Now, one of my favorites is our trails, and the trails are a lot of fun, which is why we call them fun borders. And the trails also come with 3 different designs, and each design does have a side A and a side B to it, like you see here as well. So you get 3 different designs, and these just really add another layer, another dimension and texture to your page. So let me quickly show you when you add some fun borders into the mix with your borders and accessories, how that can add to the endless of possibilities of designs. So let me go ahead and just pull this apart really fast so that we can play a little bit with our fun borders. So similar to what I was showing you with our borders, instead you could do like a top bottom with a border and a fun border, and you can see how that design is just a little bit more of a softer look, right? So you would just play to create your own way as well. You could do a title here up on the top of here. We could even do where we place these, let's see, together so that you get more of that layered look, but again, just a little bit more of movement to your page. So if I did more of a layered look like that, I mean, really the options are endless. So the whole point is just to basically play to create. There is no limits, and just allow yourself the freedom to play for, you know, about 5 minutes, and you will be surprised how quickly your empty canvas becomes a masterpiece of inspiration for you and of course for your pictures. Again, I showed you kind of from a simple layout to a layered look, but this is a personal preference. If you like things to be a little bit more simple, then by all means design a layout that has very few layers. If you personally love to layer, you can add as many layers as you want. And especially if you love that kiwi style, then just throw in a couple more layers and you'll love the outcome that you get. And of course, the other great thing about the Play to Create system is that it plays friendly with all of the other stash or tools or things that you might already have. So not only does it use up your paper stash, but creates a foundation for stickers to be used, little Prima flowers. If you love media or mixed media, throw some things in, things like that, and incorporate those other tools that you might have into your design of your layout. And like I said, the moment you start creating with these designer templates, the ideas and the inspiration starts to awaken inside of you, and you'll be surprised how much fun and how easy the overall process is. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to share with you is our photo sets from our photo categories of our designer templates. And our photo sets are, again, designed to help speed up the process, but allow you to incorporate as many pictures as you would like. Actually, let me show you this sample that I created. Just showing you a variety of pictures on one layout. So this one layout I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pictures. Now I still have a lot of design elements on this page along with my pictures and my memories. So I have a couple of different accessories. I only used one border on this, but still it very much complements my pictures and still allows me to decorate a little bit up around my pictures. So you'll be surprised how the style allows you to use as many pictures as you like or as few as you like. So just again, having that flexibility on if you are scrapbooking 2 pictures or if you're scrapbooking 12 pictures, the Play to Create system allows you to play to create for as many as you need. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I personally use the photo sets. And basically I just lay them out and see what I can come up with. So I always kind of tell everybody, just kind of like you're dealing out cards, right? I think the more that you can free yourself up just to kind of play for a few seconds and not really overthink it, then you'll be surprised how by allowing your mind to just kind of be free for a minute, that will allow you to just quickly lay down and see what you can come up with. Okay, so that's the basics, right? So I was able to kind of lay out my design, finish my overall page. Within a couple minutes, we designed a really adorable layout, and then we just simply trace, cut, ink, replace. Doesn't take any high-tech tools, very simple, and I can show you those couple tips and tricks here as well. Now, before I do that, I do want to also show you our photo mats. Now, our photo mats are designed to give you, again, that nice mat around your pictures. So if, say, you wanted to incorporate that into your design as well so you can see what it looks like. Personally, if you've been scrapbooking for a while, this is probably something that you're used to kind of manipulating or visualizing as you go. But what I love about the photo mats is that it helps me even decide sometimes which pictures to mat and which ones not to mat. So for example, if I just did this one in the middle matted and these 2 I didn't mat. And then what I love too is that I can take a bigger mat with a smaller photo and even have a lot of fun playing to create up around that. So maybe if I took like a tiny bracket and had that kind of coming out around my photo and my matting the whole thing, that could be a lot of fun. And you know, you could add another tiny accessory down there. Or maybe we would flip this whole thing so that we have a star here and we can have a star up there. So again, just allowing you to visualize that before you cut into not only your paper, but also your pictures as well, figuring out the placements, how many, what sizes, and then simply at that point, I just lay it over my picture. And then you can adjust it. So if you want it to be aligned in the center, or if maybe you want more of the top showing for maybe a reason like if your grandma's house was in the background or whatever reason, you can adjust that, see through the designer template, and then I simply would make a mark and then cut it down with my paper trimmer. So it's also not only a great designing tool, but it's also a great cropping tool as well. Okay, so now to show you how to trace and cut out the border sets. So basically the only tools that we use are the ones that you see here. So very simple, easy. So we're going to trace, cut, and then ink. Now, like I mentioned, the borders have their side A and their side B. So not only did we design together, but we're actually going to cut them out together as well. So we're going to start by taking our side B and our side A, so both of the sides, right? And then you're just going to take your coordinating pattern, so whatever piece of paper that you want to add as your layer, and then we're going to line it up on the edge like so, and then simply just trace, and then take your other one and you'll make a mark. Where you make a mark is where you're going to do a straight cut with your paper trimmer. So a really efficient use of your paper. So we're going to just go ahead and do a straight cut really fast. Okay, so I'm going to take that. And then we're just going to follow that line and cut it once down the middle. So let's go ahead and quickly do that. So you're just going to follow that line and we'll just cut it. And you just want a nice pair of scissors. So about a $15 investment, you'll probably find a pretty good, nice pair of scissors, and it will do the trick, just fine enough. Now you'll notice that I wasn't completely on the pencil line, so you can kind of see the pencil line still there, which is where inking comes in really handy. Now personally I love to ink, whether I hand cut it or not. I feel like inking gives everything a nice finished look, especially if you like the look of different patterns and colors layered together, or if you're not sure if they're quite balancing right, then add a little ink to the edge. It just kind of softens the overall feel. So, and of course it hides any blemishes, imperfections, pencil lines. So I don't even erase it. I simply just ink right over it. So it gives you that nice finished look there, and you can see that it hides that pencil line too. Now I personally just ink all of the edges that are going to show, and then at that point you of course would replace it right back onto your page, giving you that nice pop of color and overall feel for your memories. Now, like I mentioned, it's a really efficient use of your paper, so we're able to cut our border out, especially if you use double-sided paper. You can turn it over. We could use it for another layer for our scallops, or of course your flowers, and that would layer beautifully. So as far as those other designs, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to simply just trace, cut, ink, replace. Now, one question I do get all the time is as far as the accessories. Now, some are a little bit more detailed than others, so just depending on your personal preference. But overall, very simple. We're talking like 30 seconds. And so I'm just going to show you really quickly so that you can see how cutting out an accessory also works. So what I always recommend, of course, is to keep it to the edge of your paper to be an efficient use of your paper, very effective. And then, of course, you're going to trace right around that, right? And personally, what I always do is I detach it. So you don't want to be cutting with this big piece of paper. That will complicate it. So go ahead and detach it. And specifically for flower designs, I have found it really easy just to go one way. So I just go one way first, and then I'm going to go back the other way. And you'll notice how my cutting hand is kind of stationed, and then my left hand is gliding it through, right? So now I'm going to go back the other way as well. And again, as far as the perfection of cutting, I promise you don't have to be too perfectionist, because that inking is really going to help cover a lot of those mistakes. Well, not mistakes, but imperfections or just details of it being hand cut. But personally, I like that hand cut feel because and it's personally made from you. So that's all I'm going to do, and then of course I would trim up just a little bit on those edges from doing this cut. So overall, you know, 30-40 seconds, you get a nice flower shape. You can cut these out of your scraps of paper. So even the smallest piece of paper, you can align it up on your piece of paper and then cut it, and it works perfect. And then of course I would just ink those edges and hide any of those pencil marks, blemishes, all of that stuff. And then of course overall just helps with separating different patterns and colors from each other. So let me give that a nice ink so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so here is our accessory cutout, and then of course we'd replace it on our page, and you could do another layer on top of that very easily. So within a couple minutes we cut out our borders and accessory, and we would just repeat that for how many layers you have. So with our scallops we would cut that out, our flower on top, and then of course your photo mats. Now really quickly, I do want to show you a couple cards that we also created using our scraps of paper with the same process. So instead of designing on top of your background sheets, you could simply design on top of a card base. So for example, here's a card, and then use the little card borders. So you could do something like that, throw in one of the fun card borders, tiny borders, and add a little tiny accessory, and you have a super cute card. Just depending on what look you're going for. Here, just for fun, let's go ahead and layer that up and throw in that tiny. So right there we designed a card super easy, and then you would just do the same steps: trace, cut, ink, replace. So lots of fun, and it just depending on what scraps of paper you have, you can make adorable cards to send to your loved ones. Well, as you can see, the Play to Create system is a very simple process. Not only does it allow you to easily create a design, whether that's for your scrapbook, your cards, or your DIY crafts, but it's also a very efficient use of your paper as well. Thanks for watching.